Good morning, YouTube, my friends. Welcome to Chad to Dad. I know it's been a little while, been extremely busy, had a lot going on with my daughter, family, some other issues, but I am back. And I'm going to show you a side that I've talked a little bit about, but I haven't shown. So I'm going to switch camera mode to switch it over real quick. So you can see what's going on and what I'm doing. And yeah, we'll go from there. Give me 1 second. All right, so here we are. This is a 2016 Jaguar XKR Supercharged. I think it's got about 420, 425 horse. This is a Florida car that was well taken care of, garage kept. And my customer flew to Florida to pick it up and gave me a little bit of background on it. It's always been garage kept. It's been driven about 3,000 miles a year since 2016. So that kind of tells you where we're at. So, but I wanted to show you a couple things. If you can see back here, right there says XK. I did all the blackout. The Jaguar, this was all chrome. And then you've got the R. And I'm not worried about the plate because it's a temporary, but there's the R blacked out, but I left the color. This is the only chrome piece I'm left on for now because the top touches it and I'm not sure what he wants to do with it. So we'll see how that goes. But the side panels where it says Jaguar and this big piece was all chrome with your side marker. I did that. And then of course the supercharged on the hood. So here's where it gets interesting. This car is in immaculate condition, but as if you can see the wheels, chrome, but look at that. Can you see that? Destroyed. So instead of buying new ones, the customer wants to just paint them, basically make them a different color. So this is what we did, stealth gray, and they are turning out awesome. There's that one. I've got the front ones done, but obviously not on because we have to do some other stuff. As you can see, there's some of the parts, there's some parts. This thing is immaculate, and I'll show you the suspension in a second, but some of the bushings and joints were deteriorated. So let's look. Right there, destroyed. This one, this control arm here has a bushing right there that is liquid filled, like a hydraulic bushing, and they busted. That's what like the orange is on there. So I am replacing this, not this, but this. So this and that are going to be replaced today on both sides. As you can see, here's the other side, this and this, and there's that bushing right there. And you can see these are destroyed. So but you can see this thing has hardly any dirt and grease. Oh, and we are also doing the tie rod ends, these little pieces right there. The bushing's not so great on them, but in all reality it drives very, very stiff, very tight. So it's not terrible. And once I get done with the front, then we are going to finish the wheels on the back. Got to pop them off, sand them down and do my thing on the wheels, but it also has some suspension parts that he wants to replace. Obviously, that's two pieces, one for each side, and the upper wishbone piece as well. But you can see this car is nice. So that is where we are at right now. So let's get started. This is where things get fun. I've got this one. This is the new one. Get ready to put in. And look how tight this is. Right there. So we're gonna see if I can get that to where you guys can see it. Okay, and let's have some fun. The problem is getting my I might have it. Oh, I do. So if I can slide that in there, now I'm gonna have to get up in there and find a way to basically shimmy that with my fingers. Oh, actually, I have a better idea. Let's get a pair of pliers and see if that'll work. And this is my very uncoordinated, unorganized mess of tools, but these tools have gotten me through a lot. Whoops. I got all kinds of nonsense, but it's fun. But let's see. You see what I'm talking about? I got that little tiny space with that bolt that has to go through there and out. So I'm gonna see if I can get that, if I can shimmy it, because if not, I have to put my finger way up in here, and here's the motor. I have to go under or top to try to shimmy this bolt through. And I don't know if I can do that. I really don't. I'm gonna try. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because I have to, there's it right there. You have to be almost dead on, because it has an oblong get that through. Okay. It's not simple to do right now. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna do it before I try these. Ooh, almost had it. There it is. Come on, a little more. Ooh, I'm so close. See. All right, I got it. Whew. That was not easy. I'll show you why in a minute. I literally had a finger, an area just for my finger. And this is just as crazy because it has one of those notch. There's like a notch washer, you know, it has to fit just right in there. It's a little crazy, but hey, getting there. All right, so I'm going to leave that loose so I can put this on. All right. But you see, I don't know. I may not put that on yet because I still have to do this and this bolt and that bolt. When they come out, they're going to hit this spring. So in order for me to keep them from hitting that spring, I've got to loosen the spring up under the hood and drop this whole section down enough to where I can move the spring a little bit just to pull them out. And I may have to unhook the coilover down here so I can move it all around and do what I need to do with it. And that's probably what I'm gonna do. All right, y'all see this. So obviously, you know, I'm working on this, and I am on my I had quit yesterday to do a few things with the family, and I was missing a tool, so I had to pick that tool up this morning, and here I am. So this has been a nightmare. So this A-arm, or whatever the hell you want to call it, this bolt right there and that bolt right there, in order for those bolts to come out on both sides, the spring had to be loosened up from the top, and I had to undo pretty much the sway bar, tie rod end, just about everything, and push it down so I can pull this out and out, so I can move it around to get each one of those bolts out. I've got the new one in place. I've got to bolt everything up. So basically what I was changing on each side is this, that, and this. And it has been a nightmare. And this is a fairly clean car. It's a, you know, a Jaguar 2015, not a 16. I was wrong on that. XKR Supercharged V8. It's only been, like I said before, it's only been driven about 3,000 miles a year, so very well maintained and taken care of, garage kept, so not much grease or dirt, as you can see. I mean, it's pretty clean. But not only that, up here, in order to get those bolts, this is one of them coming through on this side. So here's where the fun began yesterday for me. This is where the computer is, right there. And obviously this fuse relay box. That bolt, I don't know if you can see it, it's dark, but right there. Not that one, but right below it. You really can't see it, but it's like right down in there. So in order for me to get that, I had to loosen this and wiggle down in there to get a wrench to take the nut off. It's been a nightmare. So putting this side back together, and then I got to get over to the other side and then get started on the back. Yeah, so I'm on the passenger side now. I've got everything pretty much loosened or taken apart. And here, this side was easier except for this. The reservoir. In order to get to that, that right there, that bolt that goes through, this one's fine, but I have to pull the shock tower down again, or this coilover down again. I'm sorry, I don't have two hands right now to zoom out, but this bolt goes through. And as you can see, here's the shock, the top of the shock. There's this side, easy. This side, right here, this sits here. You have to get this out. In order to do so, it's got one, two, three hoses. And every single one of them is filled with liquid. And so it's a tank. So not hard, just stupid stuff that, you know, you've got to take off just to do this. I'm almost done with this side though. I gotta just pop the new parts on once I release or take this, drop this shock coilover down. Once I do that, then I can put that new top piece A-arm or whatever you want to call it, wishbone, whatever the heck you want to call this stupid thing, back on, and tighten this back up and get this thing back on. I'm gonna have to add some coolant to it, obviously, which I did not want to do. I just know that this turned out to be more of a job than I had anticipated, or that the owner anticipated. And it's, you know, I've got a lot of my tools are getting wet from the stuff leaking, but everything else is pretty much done. I've got that piece halfway on. It hooks right there, but I didn't want to hook it in yet because I got to drop this down. This is undone down here, and once I do what I'm doing right now and loosen or get those bolts loosed out a little bit, then I can drop that piece, and this whole piece will, let me zoom out real quick. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry about that. This whole thing will drop, and I can pull that shock tower down a little bit. I keep calling it shock tower. Coil over down and get that bolt and that bolt out and put the new piece in. So that's where we're at. All right, about to start the rear wheels. That's all I got left to do on the car. I'll show you guys real quick what I did as far as the suspension on the rear. If you can see it right there, both sides, that. So he wanted me to replace this on both sides, but I'm choosing not to do it, and for good reason. Yes, can I get up in there and get the bolts out, get it off? Yes, but there's two things that I don't like to do, especially on somebody else's car, and that's mess with the brake lines. As you see, it runs through the middle, so I would have to take it off the caliper, and then I would have to bleed the brakes, and I'm not comfortable doing that on someone else's car. On this side, in a second, over on this side, same thing, but this right here, this piece is some kind of, I don't know what it is, some kind of sensor. It moves up and down with the car, has something to do with the ride, I don't know. Well, the new arms are flat and wide through here, so this would not fit. So it would be, that wouldn't be able to be hooked up correctly. So I'm not gonna mess with that stuff. He's okay with that. I told him that, you know, I'm just not comfortable doing it. So he's going to take it and have that part done. But again, I did put this on. The whole front is completely done. There's the rims. I already put it back together. Look, some of the blackout. I mean, this is a beautiful car, and there's more of the blackout. You can see it. Not worried about the license plate because it's a temporary tag. So all I did left is to get these rear wheels done, and yes, you know they are chrome, but they are destroyed. So we're going to spray them the stealth gray. So stand by. And here we go. unfortunately, I got a small air compressor at home. I sold my big one a long time ago. So these little sanding tools take a lot of air. So I have to kind of let it pump up as it goes down. Pump up, it takes a little bit more time, but I still get the job done. But you know, I'll bring you over so you can see what's going on. And you can see it's taking all that loose chrome off. And then once that comes off, then I can, you know, do what I need to do. Hey, there's Gizmo, messing around in the yard. So, I'm waiting parts for that. The whole, let's see, how do you call it? The CV axles, both sides, and the hubs need to be replaced. I ordered them. And they should be here. Well, they were supposed to already be here, but guy's telling me now probably Thursday, which is ridiculous. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, this is where we're at with the wheels, and yeah, let's get back to it. So there it is, all done, ready to go. It's leaving. Beautiful car. Wheels turned out amazing. Car turned out amazing. I want to get a quick little shot of it. But that's what it was with chrome wheels. And there you go with the Stealth Gray. See ya. Anyway, that's that. The car's done. So that's just one of the many things that I do here as Chad and Dad. So that's part of my life, and that's part of what we do. Extra money. I made quite a little bit of money off of that. So remember to like, follow, share, subscribe. Ding, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. And stay tuned for the next one. Peace.